Okay, welcome again, Authentic Fashion
Yes.
February people. I was thinking I could wear this wow maybe while we talk. This is a hat my dad gave me. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm bold enough to wear it, but it's kind of cool, isn't it?
I love it. Was that
It
his?
was his. It's like what is it? It's some fancy brand of hat. It's a Stetson, so it's like a fancy hat.
Not only can you pull it off, but you could wear it every day. That could be an everyday hat.
I might have to try sporting it about Duluth, Minnesota. We'll see.
Absolutely.
So we're here to talk about thrifting because this is part of what I have found. Now, this might not be for everybody, but for those of you who are interested, Paula is has a black belt in thrifting, and I've been learning her ways. I used to thrift a ton when I was younger, and I thrifted a lot for my house. I love thrifting for house stuff, but hadn't done as much clothing stuff. So we're going to talk about like how to thrift, why it's so awesome, and what to look out for. The perils of thrifting and the agony and the ecstasy. um,
Uh-huh.
Paula, just go. Like, let's talk.
Okay. So it's hard for me to not jump into a conversation about thrifting without talking about my story is that, and if you watch the video, I grew up with homemade clothes and hand-me-downs, and that was always sort of like and we just didn't have the freedom to shop. And so, and in my adult life, I didn't have the freedom. I still didn't have the freedom to shop. But I did have just enough disposable income to rummage sale earlier on. And then that sort of changed. And I think it sort of changed when the price of gas went up. Isn't that crazy? It was like whenever gas went up to $4, I felt like it was eating into my rummage selling budget, driving around town all day, right?
Oh.
And so then it was like this magical thing happened, and I discovered, Savers moved into Duluth, and I had never really jumped into the thrift store world until then. So there's always been Goodwills around and other great fun little places that I've discovered now, but really Savers in Duluth was what was like this eye-opening experience for me. And so it started with me wanting cool stuff and realizing I could get it, so the idea of rummage sailing and looking for cool stuff or name brand stuff that I could afford for myself and my kids, it was like this awesome way to do that. And so the idea of thrifting for me, now I have more money and less people to buy for because my kids are all getting big. So it's really me. Sometimes I can get, my daughter likes to go with, but she is in, if you can believe this, fashion apparel design at the University of Minnesota. So she's not around all the time. But now my two older sons, their girlfriends, just came with me the other night. So that was really fun. So I do have some, and then Sarah and her daughters, we've gone out together. That was really fun too. So it can be a really great time, that shopping day can be really fun. So that's the excitement of it. And sometimes I go out with, like I'm looking for something. I'm looking for a new pair of jeans or a sweater, or, I have something in mind that I'm looking for. And other times I'm just open to the surprises, like what might I find today? And both of those experiences are great. You really can't count on finding what you're looking for, of course, but you can look. And so
Yeah,
that's what,
and being open to that surprise, it's like kind of brings to mind too, like what I like about thrifting is it's a great place to try things out that like normally if you're like, I wonder if I look good in a, you know, if I would wear a black oversized blazer, let's just say, it's like the old me would have gone and been like, well, I probably won't buy it because it's like $150 at J. Crew, and what if I hate it, and then I just go back into
yes,
frozen zone. Or you end up at thrift shop, you're like, for $4.99, I can try it. And it actually, for $4.99, might be the nicest quality, better than J. Crew thing. Or it might be not as nice, but you try it. And then maybe someday,
yeah,
I haven't even gotten to this point, maybe you do make an investment in something. I'm having so much fun with thrifting, and the quality is so amazing that I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever go back to any of that, because it's amazing what you can find. Um,
yeah.
Let's talk about some of the dangers, Paula, the dangers of thrifting. I'll cop to this right away. I'll come home from the thrift store and I'll have like a sweater and I'll be so excited about it. And I was so excited and hot for the sweater that I never noticed, like it was $3.99, and I never noticed that like there was a stain on it or there was a hole on the sleeve. The other day I was like going somewhere and Catherine's like, did you see that you have like a hole in your sweater? And I was like, what? It was this amazing J. Crew metallic leopard, awesome sweater. It was $4. And I was like, oh, so you have to closely examine all pieces because you don't know, they might not be perfect. And so definitely you have to slow down.
Yep. Make sure zippers work and buttons are there. You know, if you have a blazer and it's missing a button, it's kind of a big deal, because
Yeah,
that's such a
critical piece.
critical piece. You know, you can't find buttons. Like that's just
Yeah.
not an easy task. And so, yes, that's very important. I kind of established this crazy rule in my head that, that even I established this when I bought, like, I remember I bought a pair of Dansko shoes and they were $120. And I was so stressed about that amount of money. And, you know, that wasn't a thrifting purchase, that in my mind, I commit to wearing them 120 times. So if in my mind, I commit to wearing them 120 times, I felt better about the purchase. And that's my own weird rule. And so that's kind of how it's kind of my weird rule. And it helps me look at something like, will I wear this even if it's $15, like a pair of, you know, let's say cobalt blue Madewell corduroy pants that I bought last week off of Poshmark that I paid $12 for. Will I wear them 12 times? Well, I'm going to, because I paid $12 for them. So I have to, you know, I do that. It's like, well, you bought them, Paula, and now you like them, you're keeping them, so now wear them. You know, it's my challenge to myself to not be wasteful, to not just keep shopping and buying things that I'm not going to wear. I kind of have these weird, funny little checks and balances to keep me, so I'm not overdoing it.
Yeah.
All the time. You know, sometimes it's like, okay, it doesn't fit the way I like it. I try things on, you know, it's like, you just never know. And I'm not hard on myself, but it is, sort of this weird rule that I've created.
I like
Yeah.
it. Well, and the stakes are lower often too. Like that's another thing I like about it. It's like if you make a mistake, you're making it in the $5 to $15 range or something, which is not a big deal. Like depending on where some
Right.
thrift shops are obviously more high end, but and then it's like you can redonate it. And you know, I sort of think of that as a win-win. Like the Salvation Army is gonna, you know, benefit from that.
Benefits. Absolutely. And I feel really good about that too. It's just, it is a win-win-win probably, because the next, you know, Salvation Army gets their cut and the next person gets this awesome purchase. And I don't feel bad about that. I love this whole concept.
Another thing that I've discovered is like if you don't know what's in your closet and you're not really clear, you can get into the thrift shop and get really excited. Like you're at Savers and it's like, oh my gosh, there's like this Gap, a blue and white striped sweater and it's in perfect condition. It's like $4.99. And like I'll just be like, kind of this like almost like a, I don't want to say but it's like almost like a greed or an excitement, like, ooh, like this is such a treasure, but it's only really a treasure if you need another blue and white striped shirt,
Yes. Or you don't have the exact same thing at home already,
or some very close version to it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's something to look out for. What was the other, there was something else I was gonna, take, so yeah. Or something that's a brand label. This happened to me. Well, this was a day I went to Goodwill and I went in there and on the rack there was this beautiful Tory Burch silk blouse, just gorgeous. Looked all good, no holes, anything like that. It was a smaller size, but I was like, maybe. It was $4.99. I brought it home. It was too tight in the arms because I kind of have like, I'm like beefy a little bit, so I have bigger arms. But then I brought it to Paula and it was a perfect fit for her, so it was like a perfect birthday gift. But like had I spent, because I couldn't try it on because we don't have the rooms aren't open so you can try things on, so like make sure that you can try, well, if you can't try it on, that you're not spending a lot. Yeah, but jackets are easy to throw on over whatever you're wearing, which is a tip also when you go thrifting. What should you wear, Paula?
Practically nothing. I mean, when the best thing is like a tank top and leggings, because you can try almost anything on over that, because a lot of these places don't have their fitting rooms open with COVID, and there's usually a mirror or two though that you can go and try on, most shirts. If you've got on a tank top, you can try on, sweaters all the time, skirts, dresses. It's tough with jeans, but almost everything else you can.
Yeah. And if you know your brand, like you've gone to, like, for example, like Banana Republic or whatever, I knew what size I wore in their jeans in general. Like you can often pick up something just in the same size and company if you know what size you fit into.
Absolutely. Yes. One of the things that when we were just talking that I remembered is it's sort of that rush of being in the store, that it's not going to be there again. It's just, you're at a thrift store, or a consignment shop, and the fear of losing out on the opportunity often drives that emotional decision to buy something that you won't really wear. And so to have sort of a checklist of concepts or ideas or rules, and I don't really like the word rules. I have sort of an aversion to it, but it sort of is a guideline that you establish for yourself. And you had found
the woman who
pretty
wrote
good one.
The book, she was like, can you wear it 3 different ways? That's one thing she asks herself. Do you remember the other ones? I thought that was
well. I don't remember if it was from her or if it's just the idea that you create this set, that I sort of went into it like, do I love it? Am I drawn to it? And will I wear it? Or can I walk away from it knowing that I love it and that somebody else will wear it? And I'm getting better at that. For a while, for many times, I wouldn't say for a while, many, many times I've bought something out of, I like it, but it wasn't necessarily for me.
Yeah.
And so then I get home and I'm like asking my daughter, Lane, do you think you want this? I just bought this and I think it's so cool. And she's like, nope, I don't want it. And then I have this burden of buying, Doc Marten silver boots or something like they're so cool. that I don't
Yeah.
want to pass them up.
And
But
did
I
they
really
really,
won't.
yeah, do they really
Yeah.
fit in your lifestyle? For example, like you might love these high top Doc Martens and like you're on vacation in New York and you're thinking, oh my God, all these New Yorkers are wearing them. But like when I go back home, like does this, you know, like for me, lace up shoes
Yeah.
are like an issue because I like to move fast and I like to just, you know, so I tend to do better with slip on shoes.
Or are they even my size? Or do I buy them because I'm so excited about finding them? You know, so I've done that. And that's some psychological peeling back of layers that
Yeah.
it's good to reflect on. And I've done that too. So it's I hope I like going in and evaluating what I'm looking at, what I'm drawn to now in a different way, in a healthier way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do snap a picture and send it out to my daughter and say, do you like this? Because I kind of want to buy it. And if she says no, that's like, okay. And then you just make a little blessing over the item that somebody else is going to find you.
Which reminds me of, and we've talked about this, it's like I've been on this journey of more being in more, coming into more integrity with myself with food. And I'm a member of a 12-step program with that. And really kind of like how we can use food, we can use shopping, we can use, I mean, anything, you know, all these things to escape the pain of, you know, everyday life or the strong emotions that we're feeling. And so it's been interesting because I've been seeing how like those kind of concepts of recovery and kind of moderation, or not, I don't even know moderation. I guess for me, it's the spiritual recovery from addiction. Yeah. It's like, I also have to apply that to clothing. It's like, I don't want to be on any kind of extreme diet, but I am also not going to be like, you know, binging on billions of things. So it's like, what is essential to my soul, or what is the proper thing, you know, and what feels really good and doesn't give me some kind of a hangover, a bad feeling after I've had it, you know. And I've had a couple times when I've thrifted and I brought home a pile of stuff, and like I said, I found the stains or the hole. You're just like, yeah, okay, wait a minute, we might have been moving a little fast that day, you know. I was really pumped, and kind of that, you know, that I want it all, you know. It was so funny on the way to the thrift store the other day. The song came on, I had my phone on like random music, and I happened to have the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory original soundtrack, and the Veruca Salt song, I Want It All, came on, the one where she's like, I want it all, I want the good things. She just like wants it all, and she's like this spoiled brat, you know, and it's like, it's hilarious because the whole song is about whose fault is this, and it's like, it's the parents, and I'm like, wait, what? Just like, I did not catch that the first time I watched this. But so, yeah, like if you know yourself and you have a tendency to, you know, be impulsive with your, you know, just this is a spiritual process. And I think this is, if you do try thrifting, it's a great place to try out things and trends and colors for not a lot of investment. And if you don't like it, you'll just be simply, you know, be supporting your local Goodwill and Salvation Army, which is always fantastic.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. It really is.
Well, thanks, Paula, for doing this, and see you all out back on the Stelkies.
I love the hat. Hand-me-downs fit into that category of awesomeness as well.
It's growing on me. I think I can do it. I think I can pull it off.
Way to go. All right.
Thank you, Paula.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Bye.